Bioholic once again. Hope you all are doing well. Remember, last time we have discussed about the overview idea on the cell, and today we will discuss about the cell theory. So, let's begin. So, what is the cell theory? So, the definition of the cell theory describes that the cell theory is the scientific theory that all living organisms are made up of cells as the smallest functional unit. So basically, the cell theory describes the general properties of all cells. Okay? And there are some scientists who contributed to the development of the cell theory. And to remember that our aim of today's lecture is to identify the components of the cell theory. Okay? So at the very beginning, we will talk about the scientist Antony van Leeuwenhoek. Well, the microscopes we use today are far more complex than those used in the 1600s by Antony van Leeuwenhoek, who had a great skill in crafting lenses. Despite the limitations of his now ancient lenses, Van Leeuwenhoek observed the movements of Protista, which is a single type or single-celled organism, and sperm, which he collectively termed as animalcules. Also, in the 1670s, the Van Leeuwenhoek discovered bacteria and protozoa. Moving on to another 1600 scientist, Robert Hooke, who first used the term cells in 1665 to describe the small chambers within cork that he observed under a microscope of his own design. To Hooke, those thin sections of cork resembled as the honeycomb, or the small boxes, or the bladders of air, like you can see in this image. He also noted that each cavern or bubble or the cell was distinct from each other. And at that time, Hooke was totally unaware that the cork cells were long dead, and therefore they lacked the internal structures found within other living cells. In his publication called the Micrographia, this scientist coined the term cell for the box-like these structures. Despite Hooke's early description of cells, their significance as the fundamental unit of life was not yet recognized until 1830s, when Matthias Sladen, a German botanist who made extensive microscopic observations of plant tissues, described them as being composed of cells. Visualizing plant cells was relatively easy because plant cells are clearly separated by their thick cell walls. Sladen believed that cells form through the crystallization rather than cell division. Next, the Theodor Schwann, a noted German physiologist, made similar microscopic observations of animal tissue. In 1839, after a conversation with Sladen, Schwann realized that similarities existed between plant and animal tissues. This laid the foundation for the idea that cells are the fundamental components of the plants and animals. Later, in 1850s, two Polish scientists living in Germany pushed this idea further, culminating in what we recognize today as the modern cell theory. And one of them is Robert Remarque, who was a prominent neurologist and embryologist, published a convincing evidence that cells are derived from other cells as a result of the cell division. However, this idea was questioned by many in the scientific community. Also, Rudolf Virchow, a well-respected pathologist, published an editorial essay entitled as The Cellular Pathology, which popularized the concept of the cell theory using the Latin phrase omnis cellula acellula, which means all cells arise from cells, which is essentially the second tenet of the modern cell theory. Now, given the similarity of the Virchow's work to the remarks, there is some controversy as to which scientist should receive the credit for articulating the cell theory. So, this part of the cell theory that did not have to do with the origin of cells, however, held up to the scientific scrutiny and are widely agreed upon by the scientific community today. And thus, the generally accepted portions of the modern cell theory are the following. Like the cell is the fundamental unit, structure and function of the living things, and all organisms are made up of one or more cells. Thirdly, the cells arise from other cells through the cell division, where the cells carry their genetic material passed through their daughter cells during the cell divisions. And all cells are essentially in the same chemical composition, where their energy flow, meaning their metabolism and the biochemistry, occurs within cells. Okay? So that's all for today's cell theory. Now, if you have any questions or doubts related to today's lecture, then ask me in the comment section below. And if you find this video helpful, then give it a big thumbs up and share it with others. And if you are new here, then hi, myself Ankita Biswas, your bioeducator. If you want more such videos, then please subscribe to our channel Bioholic and press the bell icon to get further notifications of our upcoming videos. So thanks for watching. We will meet on our next videos. Till then, take care and keep watching Bioholic.